before you hit the music. Sorry, everybody. It's my fault. Pizza. I wanted to apologize to the audience.
I'm sure you'll be doing a lot of that tonight.
Tonight, the Empire of Tay is going to be more technologically advanced than the rest of you motherfuckers. So you're getting dominated.
Howdy, folks. Welcome to the show. It's Saturday night. You know what that means? We're going to skirt around the topic as much as freaking possible because that's our MO. I hope everybody's
Hey, Raven.
great out there. Raven, get your ass in
You
here.
got your cap lock on.
Yep. Yes, she does. Yeah. She was like, she saw the titles. Like, what do I know about, you know, making a mega corporation? What does anybody know? It just happens. You get lucky.
Put an annoying guy covered in Cheeto dust and a weird seagull-based haircut in charge, and you're done.
We've got a lot of unique characters to draw upon. You know, Musk, Zuckerberg, Bezos. Uh, not saying they all have to be supervillains, but
What was that
they,
guy? I watched the thing on him just the other day. Oh, Henley Hardley. Uh,
what was the product or service?
Couriers.
No idea.
DHS courier.
Oh, DHS or DHL?
Is it L? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's L. Uh,
But yeah, we're gonna wait until we get a couple people in to get this rolling.
Founder.
But you know, think about it like this: the simple premise. You know, here on Earth, we've only got one market. That's Earth. But in our made-up universe that we're working on, which consists of the solar system, you know, we've got Mercury through Pluto, kinda, and all the moons and asteroid belts in between to sell to. You know, our fictional guy or gal or android or robot or whatever alien has a huge market to sell their product or services to.
You want an unconditionally evil founder of a mega corporation that you just want to root for until you find out how evil he is. It's Larry Hillblum. Larry Hillblum, the founder of DHL.
Okay, I've never
Yeah,
heard anything about him or
yeah. That they keep him very much on the wraps over there at DHL.
okay.
Um, he. So you he founded his company about a decade before FedEx, and he got into a shit ton of sex bots. Yes, sex bots.
Yeah, I'm sure
Um,
we'll have quite the discussion on that.
not Hillbloom style sex bots though. Uh, so he got into a bunch of shit with the U.S. government because they were still doing postal monopolies back then.
Okay,
Like
what's up,
everywhere,
Hungar?
Hangar, and so he fucked off to like Malaysia or some shit like that. And while there, he got really into not catching AIDS from prostitutes. And the way you not catch AIDS from prostitutes is make sure they're virgins. And the way you make sure prostitutes in Malaysia are virgins,
Yeah, gotcha.
yeah.
Well,
Well, Malaysia or Taipei, somewhere like that. It's one of those
right,
fucking
right, right.
countries.
Oh, it can't be Thailand. Just saying.
Well, yeah.
Sorry, Thailand, but you have a reputation for being filthy. So just saying.
Well, all those countries have a reputation for being filthy. It's just, they got a reputation for being filthy with sausages. That's why Hungar wants to move there.
Actually, I hear the Philippines is actually
Ah, it's fucking.
better than uh, their neighbors. Let's just say that. Never been there. It is beautiful over there, from what I've seen. Um,
Yeah.
I really was looking forward to seeing Hungar, expat out over there and enjoying the scenery.
He wouldn't last a week. The hot climate and high bacterial would get his sac infected
Uh,
before he even got sick. And that happens every other week. So,
Hungar, how you been, man? We haven't seen you in a while.
hmm
You gotta grab the link and pop in just to say hi while we wait for Raven and anybody else who wants to join us in you know
yeah.
going through this mental exercise of creating a mega corporation for the solar system we'll be playing in next year. Um, I've already got some ideas for mine, but I'm going to let everybody else go first so that I can, not, if someone picks one of the potential uh, things I choose was going to choose, they can take it, and I can just come up with something else.
Raven, your cap lock is still on. You can tell there's a little green light that shows up when you have it activated. Hit the caps lock button, that green light will go away and it will be off again. It might be orange. So I've got a company. It's called the Tyrell Corporation. You can just Google the Tyrell Corporation for what the Tyrell Corporation does.
Isn't that
Uh,
from
Blade
Blade Runner?
Runner, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm lazy, okay? I
Uh,
do I do what a good role player does. Steal something from a very popular and easily recognizable film.
okay. A late night snack. Awesome. Did you guys see Bubba's spam and beans this morning?
Yeah, I commented on it like a couple hours ago.
I didn't. I don't know if. Well, I think I just said it looks
You
tasty.
did.
It
Uh,
does look pretty damn good. Um,
I, I
we.
I first made fun of him for being a hipster because his bowl was square and not round,
Uh,
and then I said it needed some Texas toast with like thick butter and some cheese grated on top.
oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, mainly because those are high carb things, and he can't eat them. That's why.
That's awful. That's awful. You of you. Just saying. Um,
Uh,
okay. Well.
that's a lie, Raven. They all have lights.
I think
You
she
got
means
some
she turned it
cat.
on because she's not the cap lock effect is not in effect. So she
Well,
must
it's
have.
off now, but
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's what she means.
so she was deliberately typing with the letters backwards.
It could be. Could be.
Which,
Here's a thought,
which in
Raven.
that case,
Raven,
respect.
if you were actually in the green room and then in the studio, you wouldn't have to worry about typing now, would you?
Yeah,
Just saying. And I'm guessing TCG is still being held at gunpoint at Bruce's game,
yeah,
and George will probably be here shortly.
yeah.
As I saw, Bruce was doing his usual thing, and yeah, I just can't. I can't do 10 hours straight like that anymore. Especially right now. I've got. I was telling Justin before the show. Hey, twin, how you doing? Happy weekend to you too. Uh, yeah, well, it's evening, but it's a morning for you. I've got
Yeah.
this microwave heating pad, and I threw it in for an extra minute to put on my back because I
So,
breathed and threw my back out because I'm old.
so one of the products that the corporation I'm making is going to produce is microwave heating pads. It's a strap microwave module, and and faster is like this big because the necessities of the technology. And it just pumps microwaves right into your spine.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
but
Nice.
may come with flash frying of flesh and chances of plasma.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna find a video and put it in the group chat for my show, Mago Wave. I think that's what it was called. Oh, there's this guy. This one of those new YouTube nerd channels. Where he took apart a bunch of he cussed what
My second one will sell tension sheets. I'm gonna be so rich. Or I'm so gonna be rich. You remember that?
no.
Red Dwarf.
Oh,
It was just bubble
I
wrap painted red with tension sheets stenciled on it.
I don't remember any of the jokes from that show, bro. I liked it. I liked it a lot, but remembering any of it is like,
I'm telling you, that
eh.
show was literally um, one of the best science fiction things of all time. Easy top three for me.
I think
For
I
me,
have it sitting on my computer. Just gotta watch it again.
yeah. I was only able to watch bits and pieces of the first four seasons for the first 10 years I discovered it because it used to be on. I want to say like right after Doctor Who, like Saturday or Sunday mornings. I forget what it was here for until it was destroyed by Barney. And I taped it on a VHS. I still have that cassette in a box because even though it probably won't play anymore, it was just I had so much fun watching it, and with it were so many great memories. Um, Queeg 5000. That's all you got to say, man. If that doesn't just freaking you know make you die laughing a little.
Mm.
It's so well written, such great chemistry or lack thereof, depending on how you look at it, between the characters, and for such a small amount of content, it literally is the argument for smaller series. It was like 4 or 6 episodes a year, but
I think there were 8 on average.
it was ridiculously small. You know what I mean? Compared
Normal for the UK though.
for us, we were used to Babylon 5. It was like 22, 24, 26
Yeah,
episodes a season. And sure, there were some stinkers,
Red Dwarf.
but I don't think you could, you'd be hard pressed to really pull out, more than one stinker every couple of years with Red Dwarf until it got to a certain point, like season 8 or 10. Whenever they brought in the new Kachansky, to me, it just went downhill. It was better without her than with her, except the first
Yeah,
episode or two where the girl from Altered Images was in it. Um, that character was just, in my opinion, she was just Rimmer, you know, but a woman
yeah,
and not unattractive. She was, she was pretty, sure, whatever, but she was so uptight. There were times she made Rimmer look, downright, easygoing.
yeah,
It was too much. You already had Crichton, who was kind of anal. You had Rimmer, who was that times 10, and then you bring in this woman. It's like poor Lister. It's a wonder he didn't start offing people.
yeah. The first 6 seasons were 6 episodes apiece.
Okay.
Then seventh season had 8, and
Okay.
then I think it was 8 from there on out. No, the ninth season only had 3.
Hmm. Hey, what's up, George?
Then we're back to 6.
You coming in? You gonna just hang out there and mock us from the chat room? I will mock you.
There was only one episode for season 13, which is just marked as 0. It was probably a short.
Right, or some sort of attempt at a prequel or something. I don't remember. I just know
Uh,
back to
it's an
Earth.
hour and 30 minutes long,
Oh,
so TV movie or whatever. And apparently there is a season coming out next year.
really?
Yeah, and 13
Really
was
hope.
in 2020.
I
So
really hope they do their homework and not because when they were on Earth, so much of it was kind of cringe. Um, just is like
I don't remember that season. I don't think I ever got that
yeah,
far in it.
they were literally on Earth in I don't know if it was the future or modern, contemporary times, but it was just like, come on, guys, you can't tell me you threw away all the sets and all the costumes and well,
Well, they probably did because there was like a decade long hiatus there,
right, maybe, but it
and the
was just
BBC has never been that good at that.
and it dealt with them seeing themselves like in a show. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it had that weird alternate, parallel reality thing that I kind of don't like when people, go to an alternate reality and bump into themselves. It's just cheap, lazy writing, in my opinion. There's
Well,
so many
sometimes.
occasionally, obviously, the TV show Sliders had no choice.
Uh, it could be sometimes. Like sometimes it was good, sometimes it was bad. It was really funny that one time when Quinn was hooking up with the chick, and then he found out that in that reality he was born as a chick, and that was her. Kind of creepy. Kind of creepy.
Uh,
Made me feel all kinds of icky all over.
yeah.
And then I realized it's just masturbation.
Well, it happened in Red Dwarf.
Yeah, I don't remember that episode at
Yeah,
all.
yeah. He met his female. No, it wasn't. It wasn't Lister. I mean, it was Lister who did it, not Rimmer. And then, of course, Rimmer hit him with, why break a habit of a lifetime?
That's a good one.
Red
Um,
Dwarf. Red Dwarf.
yeah.
Yeah. Literally. Um, I would even pick it over almost every other science fiction show if I was like, on a desert island or Ice Station Zebra, and I could only bring one freaking, you know, series or TV show. I would probably pick that one just because,
Pyrostyro.
uh, just because it because of the humor quality to it. It hits multiple, feel goods. It's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you think
I thought I
instead of
muted.
what
I thought I muted when I said that.
said what?
Pyrostyro.
What's that?
It's a YouTube channel I'm looking for.
Oh, okay. Yeah, right, Brian. It's just got so much going for it in such a little package. Um, of 6, 8 episodes. The what are you doing? Yeah, you got it back. You found it.
Yeah, it's mine now again.
Yeah, you got to go to school sometime.
I'll hide it.
Good luck with that. Good luck with that. Come say hi to everybody.
No.
No, see, he's like Chewy now. All I got to do is say, come say hi to everybody," and he runs.
I'm going to take a shower.
Okay, come visit us after your shot.
Actually, no, I'm gonna go ride my bike first.
Oh, really? Wear a jacket.
No, I'm just gonna doing a t-shirt.
I
Like
don't
50
recommend.
degrees.
I don't recommend that.
I wouldn't recommend it either. That's why I came up here was actually to brush my teeth first, and then to do that.
Okay, don't close it all the way because Chewy will just be a butthead about it. So, George, are you going to be joining us? Uh, George says, "I love Styro Pyro. He jacked up a microwave last week." I'm
Yeah,
guessing.
that's that's the video I'm looking for. I wanted to show it to you.
Okay. Hungar says howdy, Jack. Hungar, just so you know, Jackie actually wore your shirt to school Friday to show it off, and get everybody to ask, who's that guy? Um, what's up, TCG? Are you joining us? Same thing, George. Okay. We'll just goof off for a little while. We got not all night, but we got the better part of 2 hours because that's about all I could probably do with my back in the situation that it's in. But I did order this product. It's a vest like this one, not leather, not as cool, but it's got built-in heating elements, like a heating pad and a little battery pack. So I'm gonna give that a try, so that when I'm doing the show like Monday, Wednesday, Friday mornings, at least for the rest of the year, um, I'll be toasty. At least that's the hope. I could have gone with the jacket, but I really don't need the sleeves. If your core is warm, obviously in a more a
Do you
real.
want me to pop this video up?
How long is it?
We're not gonna watch the whole thing, just the intro and skip
Sure,
through it.
sure. Go ahead. Sure.
It's a long video. That's why.
Okay, we can kill a little time while we're waiting for Crafting and George, who are
Yeah,
probably doing family things at the moment.
yeah. I'm gonna
How
find it
was the
right.
game, TCG? And did you say hi to Bruce for us? Everybody was asking about him today. Uh,
Okay.
okay, got it. Da, 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 da.
Let me know when you got it up, because I'm
It's up.
looking.
No volume.
No volume.
Can't hear squad.
Oh, I got it muted right now, but studio player. Yeah, give me a second. I gotta pop it up in the other browser.
Okay.
Oh, fucking internet. All kinds of technically superior garbage. Oh,
Wait a minute.
what?
On the screen that you pull up, it says sources. To invite and bring people in the show. It says invite up to 6 guests. Upgrade for more. Does that mean we
Yeah.
could have 7 people?
I don't think so. I think it includes you.
Then their math is retarded, isn't it?
I know. I know. It should be 5 guests, including you. Have up to 5 additional people.
Yeah.
No. Let's see. Let's see if this will work.
Okay. Which?
What?
Oh.
What?
Hold on. Let's bring this schmo in here. Hey, what's up, brother?
I was looking at your symbol on Discord, and it looks like a nipple piercing that Janet Jackson wore at the Super Bowl.
It does.
Okay. Okay with that. I didn't design it. Jackie and I did.
It,
I'm going to blame him.
it's like you took the picture, zoomed in, and hit the contrast.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to do that.
Jackie would.
Yeah, but he wouldn't because he's got principles, and things like that have cooties.
And
Is
toe
it
turn.
not playing?
Nope, it's just still.
What the fuck, man? This shit is broken. Oh, that could be why. I was playing it again on the other window.
Me out. Typical microwave oven is about 1,000 watts. Well, I'm wondering what kind of fun could be had with an oven that's 20 times stronger.
I
Now,
just
I'm
love the way
sure
this guy looks.
Many of you have wondered this as well.
It's
But
just
if
like,
not, there are a few things that a 20,000 watt microwave would accomplish.
dude, bro, with
Now,
technology.
the obvious one is cooking
nothing.
food faster. I mean, in this day and age, I shouldn't have to wait minutes to cook a Hot Pocket. Oh no, this should take seconds. Microwave experiments should be 20 times more exciting as well. I mean, Even an oven like this is capable of some cool tricks. So I'm hoping that throwing obscene powers at these classic demos will give some fun surprises. And this brings up my last point. The plasmas that could be made would be hellish. Like seriously, if you thought plasmas in a normal oven were cool, imagine the kind of witchcraft that you could pull off at extreme power. Is there anything that it wouldn't melt? There's only one way to find out. Let's build a 20,000 watt microwave. So, how do you get 20,000 watts out of a microwave oven? Well, you only need to upgrade 2 components. Let me open one of these up and show you what I mean. Now I gotta say it, the power supply in a microwave oven is lethal. In fact, when science hobbyists get killed by their projects, more often than not, it's because they were screwing around with microwave parts like these. Anyway, this right here is what generates the microwave radiation in an oven. It's called a magnetron. Now interestingly, this is actually a vacuum tube, which means unlike phones, TVs, and radios, the main technology in microwaves is the same as it was 70 years ago. Pretty cool, right? So
No.
can you just dump more power into this magnetron and get more power out? Well, you can, but only to a point. I've actually tried this, but I only got to a few thousand watts before it blew up, so this method won't get me to 20 kilowatts. I simply need a bigger magnetron. Now unfortunately, even though oven magnetrons are a dime a dozen, big ones are really hard to come by. In fact, I've been waiting for years to make a video like this, but I simply couldn't find a big magnetron. However, my luck finally changed.
Oh,
Enter the Megatron. This water-cooled beast is rated for 16,000 watts of drive power, and I plan on pushing it to 20.
Oh.
It's actually kind of funny that I'm even allowed to own this. Now there's a bit
You
of
shouldn't
lore
be
to how I
allowed to.
obtained this
you
beast.
shouldn't be.
It
No.
was an eBay purchase, but it was not me that
And he's
found
not
the
even allowed to
listing.
own sleeves.
It was the notorious Discord entity Charizard Wrecked that tipped me off to some monster magnetrons being sold as heat exchangers. I bought a few,
What the
although
fuck?
one came DOA,
I know, right?
2 were still
It's not
functional.
the same
I
component
was salty
whatsoever.
about the dead unit, but then a scorpion jumped out of the package, which I thought was a pretty cool consolation prize.
Fucking Florida or some
Since
shit.
I don't know
Because he's
anything
gonna
about
microwave it.
scorpions, I asked Arya to identify it and tell me what it eats, as well as help convince me to keep it as a pet. Arya is the built-in AI that's unique to Opera,
Oh, fuck
which
you.
is actually the
I'm gonna
browser
skip
cool
this
enough
crap.
to sponsor
Yeah,
this
yeah,
video.
yeah. I hate this shit.
Opera is a... Anyway, what do I do with this now?
I was going to die from
So can I
cancer.
just jam this thing in there and call it a
You
day?
can't get cancer from
Well,
microwave.
there's one problem with that.
Wrong kind of radiation.
It don't fit. I could have just built a bigger wave guide, but I thought back to some of the oldest microwaves that I took apart over the years, and I remembered that some of the oldest ones had big wave guides inside of them. So I picked up this old radar range
Sure,
microwave
idiot.
from the 70s, and I just love how it looks. But to be honest, it's also just built like a tank. Like, they don't make microwaves like they used to. Gosh, this thing weighs like 80 or 90 pounds, I think. So it's
twice
it's
his
a
weight.
real beast. The huge magnetron fits perfectly inside the oven, but it brings up another issue. How am I going to power it? I need 20 times more power than this thing can provide. So
sorry to
perhaps
hear
I
that.
can take apart 20 microwaves, chain together the transformers, and power it that
Yeah.
way? Nope, that sounds horrible. I have a better solution in mind. I bought
Oh,
this
that's
cute
that desk
distribution
you wanna buy.
transformer that'll be perfect for the job.
Uh-huh.
Now it is technically a bit undersized for the load, but for short runs, it'll be fine.
What the fuck?
All right, it's all wired up now.
You just bought that
Let's
off of
fire this
eBay,
beast
bro.
up.
What
Before
the
I stick
shit?
anything crazy in there,
Oh my
I just want
God,
to try
next
boiling
time
some
try to
water
build
to
a
make sure
woman.
it actually works.
Uh,
Now I will admit that running
did he
this thing
do?
isn't quite as straightforward as running a household oven. So let me show you the startup sequence. Now, you do have to close the door because there's no safety interlock to prevent you from cooking the room if you leave it open. So I'm going to start by firing up this water pump here.
You're just gonna come right back.
So next, I'm going to go here and fire up the magnetron filament.
fuck
Next,
it
I'm
back.
going to hit this switch here, which
Dude.
energizes that boosting auto transformer, which then feeds my Variac. And now, I'm going to take my Variac and crank it all the way to 100. And this switch right here is what finally powers it up. So, let's boil some water. A typical microwave oven takes nearly 2 minutes to bring a cup of water to its boiling point.
I was just waiting for it to just shatter.
This one goes beyond that in seconds. Yes, water actually explodes because it superheats faster than it can boil. If water explodes in there, imagine what'll happen to things you aren't supposed to microwave.
Like
I'm sure
water.
you're dying to see how
Like
fast
water.
food will
You're
cook
not
in that
supposed to
thing.
microwave
But the
water.
fact that it makes water explode means I gotta try some of the classic microwave experiments first.
Right
Human
now,
head.
Let's see what it does to a light bulb. What could possibly go wrong?
Everything.
All right.
look at this. He's
Here we
He's
go.
outside of a Faraday cage.
Okay, I now know who I'm basing my CEO supervillain on. Okay. Yikes.
Wow. It's just
I gotta crack up the
instantaneous. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's hilarious. Look at that. It just turned it into dust. Oh, that's so funny. Jeez. By comparison, when I tried this in a normal oven, it took nearly 10 seconds to melt through, and it didn't even come close to exploding. Is it a good idea to microwave an egg? Let's find out. All right. Here we go.
And blank is over.
Oh my goodness.
This is your head on
I
crack.
tried an egg in a normal oven as well.
A
and it took over 30
microwave.
seconds to pop. It wasn't nearly as violent.
And that's
I'm
how
curious
you
what'll happen
should
to a plasma
shoot your
globe inside
back,
this thing.
bro.
All right. How do I even do this kind of stuff?
Do we see that? Hey, it did
That
actually
was so
lit up.
loud. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
it blew up.
That was crazy.
No, I mean it did
Oh,
the
yeah.
plasma thing.
Yeah.
It's just like powder.
Oh,
you
he
gotta
makes
see
a
this.
lot of plasma.
That was
in this
reduced
video.
into dust. Into just dust. There's like those pieces are so tiny. That's crazy. That actually exploded so violently that bits of glass shot holes in the microwave guide cover. Yikes. Now speaking of plasma, the metallic coating on this chip bag should be pretty interesting. Let's activate the shrink ray.
Let's activate the shrink ray.
A lit candle can be crazy in a normal oven, so I figured it'd be worth trying in this thing as well.
A candle.
A funny side effect of all that plasma is that it turns the air in there into deadly nitrogen dioxide
George is
gas,
here.
which gives it that brown color. Now, if you're wondering how I'm filming inside the oven, I just have a hole drilled in the cavity there. And then over here, I just have a cell phone that's just taped to the walls there. Now, this works because the hole is pretty small relative to the microwave wavelength, so it doesn't let much radiation out. Now, I'm not the first YouTuber to use this technique. I think Cody's Lab was the first to do it on YouTube. But then now Red has a good video on microwave plasmas that uses this, and then Steve Mold actually has a whole video about filming inside a microwave. Anyway, I think it's time we cook some actual food in this thing. And it's funny because after years of doing everything with a microwave that you're not supposed to, I'm finally going to come full circle and use a microwave oven to simply heat some food. Let's start with a Hot Pocket. The instructions say it needs to cook for nearly 3 minutes in a puny home oven. I'm hoping this macrowave will cook it faster. Well, it didn't explode, but I'm not sure if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
No, it's done.
The
Alright, let's take a
steam.
Oh yeah, looks done. Oh yeah, it feels done too. Well,
Yeah,
there's your
now-
10-second Hot Pocket. Now the most surprising part about this is that it cooked evenly, because I know this oven has some hot spots.
It's the
wonder how
first
quickly
hot
hot dog will cook
pocket
in
to
this
ever cook evenly.
I was kind of hoping it would explode, but at least it was cooked in seconds. I actually left it in there way too long, judging by what it looks like afterwards. I chucked a potato in there without stabbing any holes in it, also with the hope that it would explode. But unfortunately, it simply flash cooked like it was supposed to. It did make some funny whistling sounds, though. In fact, a lot of foods make that funny whistle.
screaming in
Pickles turned out to
pain.
be one of the best noisemakers.
Yeah.
Let's test another microwave food classic, popcorn.
Oh, this can't.
This one was actually kind of disappointing, because it took 30 seconds to pop fully. Now this is several times faster than a normal oven, and I was hoping it'd be instantaneous. At least it didn't burn, though. Now it's time for everybody's favorite food to microwave, the grape. You know what? Let me go ahead and cut it almost in half, just to make sure it heats nice and evenly, Like this. And yeet.
God, is that
Unfortunately,
you?
The fragrant smell of roasted grape is hidden by the suffocating nitrogen
Okay.
dioxide fumes, which is the deadly brown gas left in the beaker there. Instead of cutting a grape in half, I just tossed in some unmodified grapes to see if I get the same result. Yep, grapes are haunted.
Yep,
These grape
grapes
plasmas are
are
incredibly
haunted.
bright, but of particular interest is their color. They glow white and even have bits of blue coming through. I'm wondering if they're being heated beyond white hot to blue hot. The big brain way to answer this question would be to take a UV visible spectrum, fit it to the Planck radiation law, and determine the temperature that way. But you know what? That doesn't sound nearly as fun as chucking a bunch of metal in there and seeing what kind of hell is unleashed. So yeah, let's do that.
Metal.
Let's see if the microwave can melt magnesium ribbon,
Microwaves.
or at least see what kind of plasma it'll make.
That's cool as
Not only did it
shit.
melt and burn in there, but it also managed to show off some of its green spectral colors, which is
Yeah,
in contrast to the
he
white you get
just-
by simply burning it in
he
air.
starts chasing
Aluminum melts at
colors
slightly higher
after
temperatures than that
this.
medium. But for the sake of curiosity, I'm going to toss some foil in there anyway.
Do you want me to?
Alright, here goes nothing.
Yeah, yeah. Let's say hello to our other guests.
Now that
That's cool shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that guy's awesome.
Yeah.
George, welcome
No,
to
when you
the
first were going on, I'm thinking, God, this guy's mentally challenged. But as it kept on, I'm like, okay, you got
Oh.
my attention.
He's
Yeah, he looks
really
mentally
smart.
challenged because of his eyes, right? Like he's got the pigeon face and the.
I mean, it looks like a kid that Jack would hang out with.
Yeah, he's really smart. I think he's like I think he's in grad school or something, or he has like a chemistry degree. The odd thing is, like recently, kind of had a little hiatus with his videos,
Because the
because
government
he
paid him a visit.
Because he's going through puberty.
It happened to
well,
him a
that's
few times.
one of the issues is he went to the doctor because he can't. He's like part Lebanese, so like he's like he should be more hairy, and he's like I can't even grow a beard. He's like, so he goes to the doctor and he's thinking he has very low testosterone or something like that. Finds out it's actually the opposite. He has really high testosterone, and he's been like going to the doctor trying to figure out what's going on with him. They haven't figured out what it is, but it looks like if it's something, it's very slow and not harming him very much.
Those microwave waves nuked his nuts.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, microwaves are the least dangerous thing he plays with.
Oh yeah, the Demon
Yeah.
Circuit. You should look up the Demon Circuit videos. That's probably the scariest one.
Okay, so
Well,
I put that video in the
Justin,
group.
put a link or something for him in there. Fair's fair. We get to watch him now. Other people should get to watch him as
Yeah.
well.
I gotta open up the YouTube channel.
Okay.
Yours. Homepage. There we go.
Yeah, he seems pretty smart.
Oh yeah.
I guess I'll give you a like one here, and all you other motherfuckers should too.
Yeah.
He definitely looks like he's having a good time. That's just some crazy looking equipment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just
It's all shit you can buy off eBay, right? Like,
yeah, but I there has to come a point where you get on a list or people start.
oh,
wondering.
he's on that list. He's
Mm.
on that list.
Okay.
He had the like a chemistry book from
Like the 30s or something.
the 30s, and he's going through the list of like different things. And he's making them, and then like it's like, okay, I can't show you this one. The FBI showed up in my house.
Wow.
Some of the remedies, like there's a cough remedy. It's like it's got like heavy narcotics in it and like something that gives you cancer.
Hey, you've got loose bowel. Eat this highly toxic poison, other highly toxic poison, other highly toxic poison.
It was the one where, like it was for like eye drops or something, and it was just like lead something in it.
Oh dear God. Raven says she used to get drunk and explode eggs in the microwave. Well,
Yeah. That explains a lot, Raven.
you're not supposed to step inside the microwave.
Exploding.
Well, didn't you see that like his activation switch was behind
Uh huh.
a cage with like copper mesh?
Yeah.
Faraday cage.
Yeah, he had a Faraday cage.
Yeah.
He's ready for the apocalypse. He also does.
He's going to bring on the apocalypse.
Yeah. One thing is he does tornado hunting, tornado chasing.
Really?
And the other thing was before that he was into lasers. Lots of the laser stuff. Was
Oh, you know what? I might have seen him when he was doing something like that
Yeah.
because I was looking into
I think we
boosting,
watched
boosting. The little tiny lasers you can get, for $1 now.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing is
The
to
thing's
add to
too-
to add to the creep factor, he bred moths. Like
So he's going to have laser breathing nuclear moths.
He
Love it.
created Godzilla.
he is officially Dr. Evil.
Yeah. There was what was that movie where they bred moths? Was it this serial killer? God.
Silence of the Lamb.
Silence of the Lamb, that's it.
Yeah.
I think he actually had Death's Head's moths.
It
Um,
The
puts
Death
lotion
Head
on the
panoply?
skin, but it gets the hose again.
he's Oh, I gotta put that on the
Microwave again.
soundboard when I get it set up.
Right. Yeah.
Connell, if you can find that clip and send me just that line, it gets the hose again.
It puts the lotion on the skin, or it gets the hose again.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
A good, clear, isolated version of that line, so I can put it on save the sound file and put it on a button.
Yeah. I'm going to do that with my tablet when I clear it all out, or I'll just get another tablet just for that.
No, when you get the new computer, just buy a second keyboard, and I'll show you how to set up I'll send you a video to link.
Okay. Well,
So the
I
second keyboard, the buttons won't do what they normally do.
the sounds right.
They do commands, which will activate
Right.
sound.
That's why I wanted to go with the tablet because I can visually have like
I'm off the
something.
wagon.
Uh, I wanna on a tablet the buttons can be more visual. Like at McDonald's, it's a fries, burger, shake. So I could have some sort of visual cue as to what the sound is. Because trying you know I recently realized I can actually type, and I don't know where that skill came in. You know, trying
This
to
guy right here, forcing you to fucking write all the
no
time.
just from just doing things because I never took a typing class ever. But I have been, texting and typing and stuff for years now, and it
Yeah,
just
but I'm
occurred.
taking credit for it, motherfucker.
Yeah, I know, I saw that. I just it struck me as odd that I picked up something that completely unintentional, and there was a time I almost thought about taking a typing class in high school. I'm like, I'll never need that. Not only am I going to need it, but I'm going to learn it,
I'll never
through
need
osmosis, I guess.
that.
Um,
I, unlike yourself when you were in high school, I am technically progressive. I have forsaken the use of writing with a keyboard and moved on to writing with the microphone.
uh-huh.
While you were getting all your technical skills with computers, I was having sex.
Yeah, well, you can do both, bro. So,
I can't. Yeah, that's fair.
Raven,
if you took that typing class, you would have met more chicks because you
No,
would have
no.
been the
Well,
only
I
dude.
trust me. I met my share back in college. I took a woman's study. That was fun.
Oh
oh, it
yeah,
shows. It shows.
yeah. that trick always works.
Sometimes it works.
Well, you have to not be dumb about it.
But why would you take such a class?
Because there was women in said class.
And they're usually the kind that drop their drawers quick when they think you're interested in the same stuff they are, or at least can demonstrate competency in the subject matter.
It's like my buddy who found his wife at one of those
What, a
AA
Lilith
meetings.
concert?
No, where did at one of
I did get laid at a little fair, bro. So
Oh dear God!
I've been trying to talk my
Surrounded by degenerates.
I was trying to talk my son Corbin into being a male cheerleader this year.
Oh yeah, because
you will
you want to
you
help
will
him
get
every time he gets
so
a black
much
eye.
goddamn pie on your face, and it will be because you are required to have it there
Dude,
by
I thought
academic
you loved your
standards.
kids.
I'm trying to help his dating life.
That's going to do the exact. Well, it
No,
depends. I mean,
no, it will not.
No,
well, if he wants to date
No,
boys,
no,
no.
bro. That's what losers on the football team, tell themselves when they can't get a date with the hot cheerleader chick. Turns out the dude on the cheerleader team is nailing her, Susie, and the other one no one knows the name of.
no, I don't buy it.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't buy it.
you can not buy it all you want, but it's the reality.
Hey, the game has changed. You can no longer beat the woman on top of her head and drag her into your cave.
Wow.
Prove it.
The male
Prove it.
cheerleader can. And it's part of the dance routine.
Raven, you gonna get in here? George, you want to weigh in on this topic?
Oh yeah, remember those old cartoons where like the man would just drag the woman? They had this caveman taking women by the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the dance routine now.
That's how we grew up.
Like she's already comfortable with him having his hand on her crotch because it was part of practice.
I had a fairly successful dating life before I got married because I knew the tricks of the game.
Um,
Yeah. Which is join the male cheerleading team. Sadly,
yeah,
we didn't have
I'm not buying it. I'm
I
just not
don't.
buying it.
we did not have co-ed cheerleading teams when I was in high school. Sadly, or I would have been on that motherfucking thing. Now, I did join the archery team because a chick was on it. I did pretty good there.
The things guys will
Was
do.
she like this and had an apple in her mouth
No,
or on top of her head?
Like
no.
a spangled
Okay.
dress.
Okay, just checking. You like the knife throwers and shit?
I can throw hatchets pretty good. But that
What's up,
wasn't.
nerdy?
Nerdy.
So Raven, you gonna make it anytime soon, or should we start without you?
What are you guys talking about tonight?
We're making you've been probably you've probably seen how we're building a sci-fi game universe, and one of the things we've already done the planets and the aliens and a character, and I thought for fun because it's been in the news a lot lately, CEOs of big corporations, and in sci-fi games they're called mega corporations because they span intergalactic, interstellar, intersystem wide markets. I thought it would be fun that each of us come up with one of the many corporations you might bump into or hear about on the radio or the vid screen or whatever while your characters are doing their things. So creating a company that provides a particular line of goods or services throughout the solar system, that being Mercury to through Pluto. That coming up with the CEO and all the things that trickle on down from that person's great idea that spawned a corporation that may do business. Oh, sorry, I didn't see that, Raven. Okay, we're going to start without you. so,
Well,
so so you've got you start with a guy or a gal or a robot or an alien who has an idea, and it takes off so well that people want the good or service throughout the solar system. um, and we're going to go over that just to have some flavor in the universe, as well as more NPCs for me to use against the players, not necessarily combative wise, but as obstacles, or even you know uh, benefactors to whatever it is the players are doing. Maybe someone knows someone who knows someone who knows the equivalent of Elon Musk, and through some finagling of the characters' interactions, they could get a favor or a little bit of help, or maybe even get hired by one of these
or
big
they can steal his
holes.
idea.
Pardon?
You ever hear of the guy, Lord Timothy Dexter?
No.
No.
Well, with all that being said, fuck you, Condor. I'm out.
So
Yeah.
Connell
All right,
is
take
making
care,
the
Connell.
Condor Corporation.
Condo's take. Never mind. I'll be nice. You guys enjoy the rest of your night. I
Ugh.
came on basically to bullshit with you guys, but it sounds like you guys have an agenda. I don't mean to take from that.
No,
So
you can derail. I'm just.
Yeah,
I got nothing, so derail as much as possible. That's what the electricity guy was for.
I didn't tell anybody last week. I was going to actually go in a different direction, but this little nugget started forming a pearl in my mind, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that instead. So that's what I'm
Yeah.
doing.
We could like start talking about like maybe the some of the fictional ones that we like from different games and books and stuff.
Right? Who was the character from GoldenEye? He was a great one. Take care, brother.
Blofeld. No, that
No,
was.
no, no. But that's a great reference. Is all of the James Bond bad guys were, you know, great
Secret
archetypes
Society.
for this sort of thing. Very rich and powerful people, whether they are public, like Zuckerberg and Musk, or whether they're very private, like some of the ones Justin mentioned earlier. The kid you just showed, were his. ideas to become,
Practical.
or he came up with something, like one thing, the tension sheet or whatever, and it started, gaining traction and making some money. He's a unique enough individual. His personality is, eccentric enough to where people would, be intrigued enough to learn more or watch him or listen to him, just as, some of the other folks out there, in the real world are, that are, rich and powerful captains of their industry, creating, someone, because, right off the bat, you can go with, let's just go with, the most superficial category. That's appearance, right? Do they appear awkward and weird, or do they appear, suave and debonair, right? Or somewhere in the middle. Maybe they're completely innocuous. You'd never pick them out of a crowd kind of guy, and maybe that suits his purpose. That, they can, walk the streets without needing bodyguards because, he looks like everybody else. Or maybe it's an alien. Maybe it's an android. Maybe it's an artificial intelligence gone awry. Um, in science fiction, all of those things are possible for any character whatsoever. So adding it, to the list of options isn't bad. You could do your, make your D10 chart, and those are at, toward the bottom, or toward the top. You got to roll a 10 to get the AI, CEO. But, someday, 400 years from now, maybe that's going to be a possibility. We don't know. Um, and since it is science fiction and it is a playground for the imagination and weird ideas, I'm more than open to entertain such an idea. You got anything in mind, George? Are you
Well,
like
oh yeah,
developing an image in your head?
yeah. I'm almost thinking like the inverse of Bruce Wayne, like an evil Bruce Wayne. That's like, there's Wayne Industries, and it's like his sort of front and his secret identity is, instead of like Batman, it's like evil man.
Okay.
And just trying to think of some other corporations, and some of them just might just be flavor, just like in what was it, Wally, the By and Large Corporation, that you just see the little signs throughout the earth and stuff like that. It was sort of like there wasn't like the villain or anything, but it's just sort of this flavor. You had like these kind of things like that, or even like what was we watching? It could be from Idiocracy, where you see the evolution of these companies, like Fuddruckers or Starbucks. Uh,
Okay, so the guy I mentioned earlier, Timothy Dexter, uh, was like a self starter, right? And when you guys had your Revolutionary War, your first currency was the Continental whatever, uh, and it became so overinflated it became worthless, and that's when you switched over to the dollar.
Okay.
But he bought all those fucking worthless things, and when they were worthless, and when one of your founders, I think the Hancock or whatever, said, "Okay, we'll take those in exchange, 1% on its face value or whatever."
Okay.
He made a killing. Like he bought worthless currency and made a killing on it. Then he overheard an adage, like he was in England, and he overheard an adage in Newcastle that it's like selling coal to Newcastle, which was stupid because they produce coal there.
Mhm.
But he thought it was like a legitimate thing to do, so he shipped a bunch of coal to Newcastle, and when it arrived, there was a mining strike, so he made a fucking killing. And then somebody tried to give him a false tip to sell bed warmers in the tropics,
Mhm.
like because back before powered heating, you put coals in a basket and
Right.
slide it under your bed. Um, but it was so he's a shipload of them, of like 40,000 of them or whatever, uh,
I,
to
Go ahead.
to the the tropics, and he landed in a port where they made molasses, and they were like perfect for ladles with lids. So
Okay.
he sold them all and made a fucking killing. So
All right, I
every
remember the story of this guy halfway through the telling.
okay, yeah, like every stupid thing he did
Just the
made him,
dumbest of luck,
yeah,
but
so,
something was on his side, angel on his
yeah,
shoulder, if you will.
yeah. So like make a guy like that, but he's like oh, he becomes more egotistical and self-obsessed as he gets richer.
The luckier he
Yeah,
gets.
he becomes just a little more derangedly evil. So,
He has mastered the ancient art of dumb luck.
yeah.
Welcome to the show, nerdy.
Well, he
Hey.
eventually like becomes very cunning, right, in real life, but by then he's truly,
Well, that is a thing that happens. I don't know if any of you have noticed,
yeah,
but a couple of examples. I'm not sure which one it was. It was either Jessica Simpson or Britney Spears.
yeah.
No, they literally gained a couple of dozen IQ points over the years. Maybe it was just through age, but I tend to think that with large quantities of cold hard cash at your disposal, you have options that you didn't have before, and those options can include the equivalent of earning experience points and actually learning new things.
You have the ability to fail without
Right.
failing.
Well,
Well,
it's
not succeed without failing.
Maybe they're all actually in robots, like Mark Zuckerberg, and they got the same software.
Like
Shut
Rocky
up and take a
Balboa,
shower, you
the only
stupid kid.
boxer in
Shut up and take
history
a
to
shower,
ever
you
get
stupid kid.
smarter as his career progressed.
Do you even know what that is?
what is?
Yes.
Shower.
Oh, of course he does. He's got one built into the chair. Worry about it.
Don't you forget it. It's right
To
there.
spray
Oh.
stuff.
Once again, I come out here and I can smell the fireplaces a burning. So I'm not the only one who enjoys that. But yeah, I think that with you know lots of cold hard cash, you can in fact uh, go up levels. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. So yeah, I think having that kind of
Just
like
dumb luck.
well, nobody expects the guy to be evil because everything
Hmm.
his corporation does sounds stupid as fuck, but he's actually like super Blofeld or whatever.
Or just because of
Well,
things
he's Doctor
working.
Evil. Yeah, everything just keeps working. Oh,
Question you'd have to ask yourself, the first question that has to be answered would be what role does the corporation play in the story? Whether it's in a game or in a book or
Well,
movie or whatever.
yes and no. If it's a little more railroady, if you got a specific thing, I'm thinking just on general sandboxy terms. What's here, or
yeah.
what who's in charge of warp drives, or who's in charge of microchips, or who's in charge of Coca Cola. Just so that if it arises, I've got
Well,
a steady supply of information.
that's the thing with mega corporations in real life. It's like the brands that are owned by the mega corporation.
Mhm.
You might not actually know the mega corporation. Megacorps do everything, always, at all times, everywhere.
Yeah, if you were to do the little bit of research and like look at the big like maps they've created of all these corporations, all these companies are owned by this core.
I think there's 7 of them.
Mhm.
Could be like a Black Rock or something.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, we all think in the
Well,
future it's going to be these huge, massive amoral entities.
but can you solve it? Yeah, there are 7 like major product producing companies, like
Just like there's only
corporations.
like 3 media companies.
Yeah,
Or
well, they're owned by those,
right.
but BlackRock is worse because it's it owns shares in all of those. They all co cross own each other, but
Yeah, cross pollinate.
look, yeah. BlackRock is the third largest economy on the planet, right?
Right,
Yeah, it's like massive. They
right,
like
It literally goes the United States, China, and the United States is mostly on paper. China's in real stuff, and then it goes BlackRock.
yeah. The other thing is like they just like to give their investments and give these companies money through their investments. They say, oh, you got to do the DEI, you got to follow toe the line, hire these people, get this
Yeah,
company.
yeah,
Then
yeah.
that brings what I said, big mega corporation. The corporation plays.
Mhm.
Power. That's the role they play. They just the source of power.
Zorg Industry. They Zorg Industry had its even owned a taxi cab company.
Right.
Like I said, they all do.
So
One thing
If
it
they're
could be
so you know
is not the megacorp, but let's say the front, just one of many corporations, and it's like the front for like some kind of nefarious thing, like a cult or something behind, or a particular evil villain.
right,
Yeah.
I like
the one
those.
I'm working on, it's called Archaeotech. It's actually going to be the company that's most interested in all of the let's call it ancient tech. Once they start expanding, past Earth, they realize, oh well, there's these other planets that some have had life going on for you know long periods of time. Maybe not necessarily older than humanity, but in some cases they are. And getting a hold of that technology and then integrating it into human needs could be a monumental windfall of profits. With unforeseen benefits for millennia to come by
What
integrating.
was the one from Babylon 5? There was a megacorp in Babylon 5 that did that.
Mhm.
Uh, Fuck. I'll look it up.
I don't really know the Resident Evil lore, but there was that Umbrella Corp, I think, or something like that in that
Right.
one.
Mhm. The one of the next items on my list, is obviously the product or service. What are they most famous for? What are they? The average citizen has heard of. Even today, almost everybody's now heard of BlackRock for various reasons, and has a rough common knowledge of what they do. Maybe not down to specifics, but they have a good idea of what they do now. Like Google. It's all about
Yeah.
information, and the dissemination and propagation of various forms of information. What's allowed, what's not allowed,
No.
what's top secret, what's proprietary, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
I was just thinking of just now about a corp from stories is Chom in the
Sure.
Dune, which is just like all the aristocrats own shares in it, and which is pretty, and they are involved in all trade, but their biggest thing is they're trading in spice. So if there's like
Well, you can't be trading in spice and not be involved in all trade in Dune.
yeah,
well, not to mention the way
but
they travel and where they travel to. It only makes sense to like, for
The,
example, here's a really good
the
example.
Landsrad is a triad. On one side, there is the Emperor. On another side, there are the Great Houses. And on the third side, there is the Chum Company contract.
Did you know that back a long time ago here in the states, the Hershey Corporation, um, they they were making chocolate, but then they went into all the different
No,
things.
no. I need to stop you right there. They make brown stuff that comes in a bar form. They don't make chocolate.
They went on to buy rail lines and other things to help ensure that they could get their product out all over the country. So
Yeah.
that they went in
They
and
can
bought,
contaminate the country with their crap in bar form. It's not
and,
chocolate.
and so they I believe they were invested in coal at the time, and the rail lines, and everything else that facilitated their product spreading to where it is now.
Yeah.
Well,
And
I
I
was
will
going to bring
accept the
up
term product.
I was going to bring up GE, General Electric. It's like, okay, everybody knows General Electric, you know. Like, how many people have a GE washing machine dryer in their house? Everybody's got at least one General Electric product in their house. I guarantee you that.
Probably.
Well, did you also know that General Electric also made the gun that's in the A10 Warhog?
No,
Yeah.
it makes sense.
They are also the fine producers of, I believe, the Marauder
Yeah. I remember my dad used to
battle
work for
mech.
Okay.
my dad used to work for Amtrak, and this was like in the 80s where computers were still kind of not so big, but you had computer companies like Apple and IBM that thought of as computer companies, and other companies you thought of as electronic companies. I forget what it was, but it was a company that I knew of as an air conditioning company that made their computers. Gosh, which one? I don't remember which one. It might have been a German one.
No idea.
was-
Yeah, I think they also made the Stalker.
And I do remember one of the things was one of the early computer companies, like in the 50s, like they were a big computer company because they needed a computer, so they just made it themselves. But they were involved in something else, like it was other kind of products, like it was like a food company or
That
something.
happened a lot back in the early days of computers. They
Yeah,
just like spun up a division to make a computer because they were like the size of a house and less components than a calculator or a toaster. Less technical skill to make one than a toaster.
yeah.
There's more technology in a modern day car than there was in the shuttle, in our first shuttle into space.
There's more electronics in a modern day toaster than there was.
Yeah. What was it? It was the equivalent of running the command module on a Game Boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember watching a video about like them like recreate it, and I think they found the original computer for it or something like that, and they were kind of recreate it or rebuild it, get it working again. It was really fascinating stuff.
Oh, the what was that guy? Always wore the red shirt. He retired from YouTube last year.
Not ringing a bell.
Oh fuck, Todd or
Come give me a hug, sport.
Tom, Tom Hollins, something like that.
Sounds familiar.
Well, don't fall
That's the
asleep on
guy
your
that
hug.
plays.
It was Linus Tech, maybe? Did he retire?
No. That guy's still doing his shit. British guy.
Not ringing a bell. So, Justin, what product or service are you thinking for your company?
Well, if I'm modeling it after what's his face, he's gonna be known for shipping. Obviously, Megacorps they do everything, but there's that one thing they're known for
Hmm.
uh, that they probably don't even do anymore. But yeah, shipping stuff.
Okay. Which will
Will
tie
be
in
the thing.
nicely next week when we do talk about the other technologies that have to exist in a sci-fi game.
Yeah,
That being, travel. How what forms
like
of
slip space or jump drives or
right,
you know.
because that's one of the most important, in my opinion, facets of science fiction is what 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 facilitates travel to these strange new worlds, if you will. You got to get there. Well, how do you get there?
Yeah.
And getting there, either
Well,
gives you
we don't need to go see, right? We don't need to go the speed of light because we're only playing in the solar system.
for the most part.
Yeah, there's very little outside. Uh,
Because I think Doc and Omen both. Let me look. I think maybe it might have been just
it was
Doc.
just Omen. Omen just took series or whatever,
Okay.
Proxima or whatever. Where I think Doc took Ceres, the asteroid.
Okay. Yeah.
Uh,
Doc took Ceres and Omen took Neptune.
oh, so he moved in system.
Okay, but either way, any good sci-fi story has to include some sort of
That could be the break point of the climax. Is the development of the interstellar. It
yeah.
could be what we're.
It stands to reason that you want
He
to
fucking did it.
nice that at some point you'll go to some place way out there just to make it, have that full on sense of the unknown
But
and doing something crazy out beyond,
you get what I'm saying though. That could be one of the success rate goals is getting the technology or the
Mhm,
MacGuffin that allows that
mhm.
that way.
Or just procuring passage on a ship that's going there for
Well,
a
if that's
clandestine reason. They find a way to get on the ship that's going there, but nobody knows their ulterior motive or whatever.
well, how would
Because
they be doing that if if we're still below the level of technology that allows super long distance travel?
right.
Is it a sleeper ship? Right, like obviously you can.
Right. Well, I was also thinking, considering all of the characters that are involved so far are people that would, never in a million years, if they were Earthbound characters, would they ever get on one of Musk's, rockets? Just to leave the atmosphere, kind of thing. Those people that do
Well,
that
you
sort of
don't
thing.
know, but my well, the character I devised wouldn't be on Mars because of the society I created, but that guy could have been living on a Mars colony if there
Well,
were actual
I
life
was thinking,
ones.
Fifth Element. They all win, tickets on this luxury, or
Yeah,
experimental ship, or so, some goofy reason. We can work on that. So you're going to go with transportation, Justin.
yeah, because there's got to be like other Earth-based colonies out there, like asteroids that have been taken over, moons here and there. There's probably like another moon of Jupiter that's been colonized by Earth or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think I
I'll actually have to pull up and create my own map, as it were, of all the habited places, human and otherwise, throughout the solar system, including, you know, secret bases and mining facilities and all that good stuff. How about you, George? What's your product or service?
oh, I'm thinking life support and terraforming. They'll
Okay.
they'll provide environments for domed cities, orbital space stations. Kind of get the carbon cycle going. Either it's sort of through. I assume they probably use more of a biological technology, but maybe it might be some other more mechanical means to at least to kickstart things,
That actually
and
is
which would really tie into terraforming
because of
for.
Bill,
the
Bill,
where the two technologies meet,
Mhm.
is a real sweet spot. You're going to if you're going to terraform, well, you're going to be using a lot of different kind of plant technologies, and in order to make a place inhabitable, you're going to have all that stuff as well. Otherwise, you end up with the world from like Silent Running, where they've gone beyond. They don't need plants anymore, which is
Mhm.
terrifying because that means while they don't need them anymore, it means that amount of time they're going to exist is going to be, planet falling rapidly because at some point that's going to fail. The hubris of
that movie was retarded.
it had its flaws,
Extremely.
but you can see how some people could
If anyone
find
could find me a good soundbite of someone saying retarded, send it to me. Like I'm just saying, like I'm looking for drops for the soundboard I'm building, so I want to be able to hit like the R key and it's just like retarded.
Mhm. Well, again, we're talking, potentially, amoral companies that could get it in their collective heads that, well, we don't need this anymore. Let's just make Twinkies and everybody will eat Twinkies, right?
I'm
It's
okay with
Yeah,
that.
Hey, Justin.
I'm scared.
Yeah,
I think was it Star Trek for the Voyage Home
yeah,
has a good reference to has a good soundbite for retard whenever they capture Chekhov on the ship,
yeah.
and he's telling them who he is. It's like, I'm Pavel Chekhov, United Federation of Planets. My service number is, and then that one guy asks him, he's like, "What do you think?" He's like, "He's a Ruski." Of course, Pavel, he's Russian. He's got that Russian accent. He's like,
Yeah.
"That's the dumbest thing I have ever heard. Of course he's a Ruski, but he's a retard or something."
You might also look into anger management, where they have that retard your anger little discussion. Getting Jack Nicholson to say retarded might be, the way to go.
Retarded. Yeah, okay.
So,
I will look into both those. I'll probably forget though.
the product or service I'm going to be focusing on with this company is going to be medical technology.
Mm.
Seeing how other species
You will take
survive.
your vaccine and like it.
Mhm. That's going to, of course, include alien DNA and things like that, and all in the search.
Nanobot tracking devices and magnetic skin.
Mhm. Sure,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
Growing up for me, we were inundated with the phrase "better living through chemistry," and
Sounds like
it,
Brave New World.
that was a 1940s 50 thing for a good long period of time, and uh, when you think about it, it was pretty retarded. Better living would be better living through, you know, living within your environment, eating healthy, not
through
drinking
Coca
that
Cola.
poison on a regular basis, sticking just
This show is brought to you by the Coca
no,
Cane
it's not. It's
Corporation.
not.
Product
No,
placement.
you guys are terrible. So uh, their
Oh,
product or service is going to be the search for immortality or at least a longer lifespan, which is actually uh,
true.
right,
Okay,
right.
I'm changing
What
mine.
What are the things
Mine's
with
the
these like?
Coca Cola Corporation.
I like the ideas of like with the medical and also that on my end it's more of a biological tech. The that some of these like they might be almost like a religious motivation or at least sort of have maybe a very charismatic, very spiritual person, but maybe a little bit sinister on the other end.
Hmm.
Could be
Your typical uh,
See,
Jonestown, you know,
yeah.
charismatic
Well,
leader.
or some well, not even necessarily like a cult, but a very off not normal religion, let's say, like a more like a
a fanatical
well, I guess
following.
yeah, like a what do you call those guys? The one like
Scientists.
the ones that in Hollywood they're all turning into gosh, what are they called?
Scientists.
Guru?
No, the Scientologists. Scientologists,
Zionists.
they're like kind of the one they have like
Well,
tons of
nobody takes
like
those
they
guys serious.
yeah. The other thing is
Hey,
well,
how dare you disparage Xenu?
was it
Yeah. What did Xenu ever do to you
there is
besides
one
trying to save humanity from occupation by an alien force?
I think Jehovah's Witnesses, they like don't like blood transfusions or something.
Hmm.
So they've kind of put research into bloodless surgery,
Right.
like where you reuse your own blood.
Look,
So there's things
i-
like that. Like
if you start a religion and you want to be taken seriously, you have to kill people.
hmm.
Name me
You can't make an omelet without
name me
breaking some
one
eggs.
religion that is taken seriously today that hasn't killed anybody.
Recently or in the past or at all?
From the beginning of time to now.
Oh, well, my memory only goes so far back, but
You
point
didn't
taken.
get my joke? I said Judaism.
Yeah. Yeah,
Judaism? You mean the Israelites never killed anybody?
Absolutely not. How dare you be such an anti-Semite?
My God. Look, I am
Well,
not a
going back
Christian,
to
but I was raised
going
in a
back
Christian
to
home. I have read the Bible. They've killed some people.
You are an anti-Semite, sir.
King,
No,
King David used
someone that's
non-lethal
someone
words.
that's read the Old Testament.
You
They've
are
killed
an
some people.
anti-Semite, sir.
never
Tell
fails,
me
does it,
what they
folks?
want. It
Never
ain't changed the
fails.
fact they've killed some people.
I'm
So
just doing
with
what the news does. This is exactly what they do on CNN and Fox.
going back to the CEO, I'm toying with the. Let me tell me what you guys think of this. I want the CEO to actually like come across as like the worst of the CEOs, like the most vile, despicable guy, but it's actually like a front. He's actually, trying. He's got like some really idealistic idea that he could somehow do some really good thing through what they're doing, but
The
he's
ends
actually like a
justify the
really good.
means.
Well, he's actually a really good guy, but he has other people doing his dirty, some of his dirty work. That's all actually dirty work. It's good deeds disguised as dirty work. If you catch my meaning, if you look deep into it, it's actually everything that seems like horrific is actually like super beneficial to everybody and ethical.
Like
Where
Ozymandias in
you
what do you call it?
kind of, it is one of my favorite characters in
Well,
movies.
that's not true. Your favorite
Shut
character's
the fuck up.
Blue.
No, Manhattan was one of my
No, no,
least.
no, no. Manhattan was attached to your favorite character
That's not
by the crotch.
that's not how
So
that
I,
works.
I have a question. I've got a question. This is kind of an important question. Time frame. What kind of sci-fi about? Like, are we talking
We're
like a
talking
modern day? It's modern day, but has science.
2170,
Talking
24,
24, yeah, yeah.
400 years from now.
far into
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
future.
That's
Far
like
enough to where
So
where
I was
we,
thinking.
24.
I was thinking, what if the CEO wasn't one guy, but a collective of minds,
Oh,
like like
brains in a jar.
yeah, basically all
hive
connected,
organisms.
all connected to the mainframe.
The CEO is the
Oh,
Borg Collective.
every CEO of the past, there's all kind of uploaded into like one mainframe, and that like they just make them, they just improve on them or try to keep using every little bit from these past CEOs. Perhaps could be.
That could be terrifying.
They did that in Lex, where they had all the brains of the past.
Yeah, the Lord Shadows. Oh, and then they tried eating them, and they were like,
Yeah.
"You salty."
Cluster lizards.
Yeah, they taste like formaldehyde.
As you said that, I got a whiff of something in my home that's not pleasant. I'm guessing the boy is in the restroom, but I can't be certain. He did say he was going to go for a ride.
Sure.
Maybe it's my dog. No, it's probably my dog farting in here because we overfed him.
Yep. I was about to say that. It's like next thing you know, you're gonna be blaming it on the dog. Yeah.
Nope,
We believe
we
you.
overfed.
It was
We
the
overfed
dog.
him. We
He
made
who smelt it
dealt it.
dealt it.
Yeah.
Them's the rules.
Or the lesser known, he who denied it supplied it. Um, now to put a
You,
little bit of a,
sir, have done both.
I'm kind of aware of that. To put a little bit of a limitation on our companies, I'm thinking a limited sphere of influence, um, because there are many ways you can limit it other than by giving your CEO some major character flaws, which I'm hoping each of you will kind of work up the you know a text description, to describe your CEO
Oh, I'm just
and
gonna rip off this Timothy Dexter guy. Like the company has been like existed from when he created his and then like maybe 50 years ago the corporation was really stupid and tried cloning their original founder, but he's got the same memories and life experience as a guy from 1780.
okay,
Or
okay,
Was I didn't really
or
watch.
we can go the Serpentor route. Get DNA from the great CEOs of the past.
Hmm.
Fuse
And
it
make
all
like
into
a
one being.
was
the
was the
Kwisatz Haderach.
or just keep cloning your original founder. Like the like just keep cloning Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs will be an actual character.
But he has no like development.
He
Like
just, but he
he's
just,
just trying to re-release iPhone 2.
yeah, and sadly the character just keeps dying of cancer, like at 50 something years old.
He's like, I've got this great idea. It's called the Apple.
Walt
He's like,
Disney.
Yeah, every
Walt
time
Disney. Put
the
him on
ego.
ice. He had
Walt
like
Disney.
That's
It
a
was
good
the
one.
300 years ago
Oh,
at the
oh,
founding.
juice.
He had a terminally ill. He was diagnosed with a terminally ill disease, with a terminal disease, and
What
he
did
put
Walt
himself
Disney
on
die of?
ice. Now he's thawed out, and
That'd be
they've cured
perfect.
him.
Now he
Yeah,
runs the United Nations. He's president of Earth.
he's like,
I can't help but thinking of
I wrote
Brisby
those
from
newsletters and nobody read them.
the Venture Brothers, where he's got his jaw wired shut and everything. Oh, that was a
Did they
creepy.
drag kids into the basement to feed him or something?
No, I don't remember.
Yeah. There was a big like, pedo joke in that show about the Walt Disney
Could be,
parody.
could be. So, what I meant by spheres of influence, your budding or mega corporation can't hit all the sweet spots. They have to have, when building anything in a game form, you have to have some balance. So, one of the negative aspects is
Well,
they're not they may hit 5 6 of the planets out of the 10, let's say, but
yeah.
they're not all encompassing and
Well,
being
it's
able
not
to
the
hit.
major market. That's the problem most people don't get with like cyberpunk or futuristic mega corporations fill the same void as Cthulhu.
Mhm.
They're
as
everywhere
the
always,
as the
and
unintelligible, ununderstandable,
the more you
faceless.
look at them, the more crazy you are.
Right, right. But this way we can, it's like give them motives for stretching out, because maybe they don't reach all the way to Pluto, but they want to,
Oh,
or
and they will.
right, given enough time, they will. But at this point in time, because it's only 400 years in the future, they may have only come into being 100 years
Yeah.
from the current date. So they only hit Mars and maybe
Well,
one or two planets, and they're really pushing to stretch out their sphere of influence, which gives them built-in motives for all the things they do. Is the ever increasing desire to reach greater markets before some company on say Jupiter decides, well, nobody's doing medical technology on Jupiter. Let's start up a company that does that here, only to get squashed later by a bigger company or absorbed. But
mhm.
otherwise, you'll see, like you were saying, Coca-Cola signs all the way from Mercury to Pluto. That's a
Well,
little too easy. You know what I mean?
That's the question. Like some of the civilizations we created, the corporations, the Earth corporations, would love to get into, but do you see
Can't.
them? Do you see them getting into the highly militaristic, highly isolationist Mars?
No, but that would be an interesting, theme is how are they going to do it? What's the
Well,
one?
there
What
have
would
been
they?
many times both the British and your country have gone to war with smaller palities
Mhm.
to open. Like
Yeah.
we started a war with Vietnam or whatever, so coke could be sold there.
Mhm.
Um, I'm just saying that.
Yeah,
Like
and some
that was the
places.
whole that's legitimately the whole hatred of fucking uh the Soviets or communism, not specifically Soviet communism, but the smaller like Mexican or South American and Asian communist movements is because they were afraid the corporations wouldn't be able to bring products into those areas anymore,
Oh,
right?
what was that
Like
commercial?
that's the actual reason why you guys overthrow those governments all the time. Is so Coke can still sell there.
Right, and a
Budweiser
lot of
commercial.
places.
Budweiser commercial. There's an old
Mhm.
Budweiser commercial where there was Russians in a space station,
Yeah.
and they hear this knocking
Go find it and
on
we'll
the
watch it.
airlock, and he's like, "Oh no, Commander, it's the Americans." It's like, "Oh no, what do they want? Oh, they brought Bud Light. Who let them in?" Next thing you know,
Yeah.
the Russians and the Americans were having a party, and then
Yeah,
it's like,
because
"Hey,
of
we
capitalism.
need some Chinese food." And then next thing you know, you see a Chinese rocket going up into space, and then it turns out it's like then some at the end of it, someone's like, "Oh wait, what we really need is some salsa," and you hear the mariachi band playing, and someone say salsa. You see a Mexican rocket flying up into space.
It gets like 50 feet off the ground and blows up.
Yeah, it's powered entirely by black powder.
And cocaine.
Well,
Oh.
that's what they pay the workers in. Believe it or not, back in the old days, the the not press gangs, but the closest thing they had to indentured servitude and slave labor, they would they would get their workers high on weed because they would work harder, longer, and faster, even just on weed, and complain a whole lot less.
Maybe at the end of the day they gave them weed. Like, I'll see them
I
working
was like,
harder
I've
on
never
weed.
heard of anybody working longer and harder while smoking weed.
Well, you got to remember a couple things. One, over the last 100 years, it's changed from what it used to be. It's way more powerful. It was a lot weaker and subtler back in the before they started you know developing it as a you know
There
Even
was
trying
a
to.
then,
whole.
even taking that into effect, it's weed is
Oh
not
no
a
no,
weed is
it's
not
97%
what you would
more
enhancing
potent.
drug unless you
Yeah,
put like a candy bar in front of them. But
like Justin said, it's 97% more powerful than it was. My experience only goes back to the 70s, and
And
it,
that's
it was
from
weak.
the
It was
60s.
not. I mean, it wasn't like anything like most people are familiar with. It was very very weak,
And
and it could.
that's deliberate breeding, like
Right,
deliberate
exactly.
breeding over the last. It's the dank shit, bro. You gotta
I,
get
I
the new
remember. I
Kushi
remember
cooler or whatever.
once.
It's
You
got the
know,
purple haze.
trying something, and it was unbelievably more powerful than anything that I'd ever experienced when it came to that. It was leaps and bounds, and then once the early 2000s rolled around, and you could really see the difference. Uh, the old hippies would have literally died on the new stuff, and I could picture it, being
Well, they would have
only
never
a little
started ice
more.
cream corporations.
I could picture it being only a little more, you know, powerful or strong than coffee or things like that in 100 years ago before anybody had ever touched it. Um, so you never know, and that's going to be a thing we can entertain is the different the other commodities that are going to exist 400 years from now. Things that don't exist right now, but maybe when you bite into a Twinkie, it's got a little something else in it.
Yeah, you bite into a Twinkie, it's just a normal Twinkie, but when you poop, it has an advertisement for buying more Twinkies.
Or it plays a jingle as it goes through you.
Yeah.
Or it's got a little transmitter that's transmitting to if you've got the right cybernetic implants, um, the current stock report. I don't know. There's so many different things that are.
Stock bar, the one that gives you stock trades.
All I'm going to say is do a little bit of research and find out why Coca-Cola is called Coca-Cola.
Nobody
Right.
needs to do that research, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. As a matter of fact, nerdy. My very first superhero character.
I love original recipe Coke. It
my,
it
my,
gives
my
you
first
the
my first.
best.
You remember the game Villains and Vigilantes, nerdy?
Say again?
Villains and Vigilantes.
Never heard of it.
Okay, it's a superhero game from the 70s through the 80s. It still exists. But my very first character I rolled up, the DM said that my backstory was I was working at a convenience store, and the owner had me go down into the basement to restock the Coca Cola. And it turns out that there were cases of the original, 1920s or whatever Coca Cola, and I drank a bunch of it, and that's how I got my superpowers. I'm not even kidding. My superpowers included darkness control, I think
100-year-old
phasing, and
cocaine.
radio reception. So I always could pick up whatever station I wanted in my head.
You sure you just weren't high, bro?
It was way before any of that. But yes, I think I still have that character sheet in the garage, believe it or
Why?
not. Because I've kept a lot of things. Um, I've literally got those folder, those files where you take them apart and put the thing in and
You
put
know
your
that
sheets
thing
in.
Connell said earlier about having sex with girls?
Yeah.
Well, you were file sorting all your fucking character sheets from 40 years ago. I was pounding some gash.
Um,
What the fuck were you doing?
Mind you, I was 12. I didn't lose my virginity until I was 14. So during those 2 years,
Gay.
I was gaming quite a bit.
I'm gonna gay.
No,
I don't care. It still counts.
yeah, I get that, but
Because you were 14 and still had that character sheet. It did
yeah.
not get thrown out to make room for fucking condoms.
Well, as a good Catholic, I didn't believe in them. So
That's stupid. There are things the Catholics are wrong about.
yeah, well,
Getting a girl pregnant at 12 is
not
one
to
of them.
mention at 14 you weren't legally allowed to buy them. Mind you, she was 17, so she probably could have found a way. But anyways,
You got groomed too by a grandma.
I'll send you a picture. I'll send you a picture. And you'll tell me who
You
groomed
still
who.
have a picture of the girl.
Yeah, dude, you don't have any pictures in your
I don't
in
have
your.
pictures of anything, bro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got about maybe 30 photographs throughout my whole life. So there could be a lot more, but there really aren't that many pictures of
Why do you still
special
have a
moments.
character sheet from 400 years ago?
It just happened, And once I got to a certain point, I'm like, it's kind of fun and awkward and embarrassing to go look at the characters that I was creating during those times. Sometimes every once in a while, just for fun, I'll take a look at the stuff I did when I was just getting into the hobby. It's it's one of those things. I had some good times, and I don't have photographs of me at the gaming table from back then, but a character sheet of a ridiculous concept character brings back a lot of fond memories. Even some of the ones that say deceased on them because they were brutally murdered by killer DMs back in the day.
Well, because that character, cocaine overdose.
Yeah,
I'm not
yeah,
going to
he
lie.
was
I
a
wish I'd kept some of my characters.
he was a weird DM, but he was a good guy. And
Also, the one that took your virginity.
no, that was a young Italian girl.
I don't believe you.
I know, I
I don't
know.
believe you've ever had heterosexual sex.
I understand that. Jackie's a figment of all of your imaginations, or a paid
I
act.
think you. I think you
Hey,
picked them out.
Justin.
I think you picked them up outside of a fucking Home Depot. Like I keep saying.
I
You were
understand.
saying nerdy.
Yeah, just keep in mind your hand is bisexual.
No, my hand is fully gay. I do not pleasure women; they pleasure me. I have a strict policy. It's kind of like the Catholics, but not gay.
So moving right along.
Ugh.
Do you have
Meanwhile,
names for
back
your
at the
do you have,
ring.
do you have names for your corporations?
Uh, no.
Okay. Also, things to think about
I will
to
think of
help
something
to
though.
help the idea stick is logos and mascots. A lot of look at Fallout. It's got some very recognizable mascots and logo ideas. I know Raven, you should have joined us, but you chickened out, and that's what you
Like
get.
you always do.
Because I will be shutting the show down in about 15 minutes because I got shit I
So,
got to do.
so Raven, it's perfect time for you to join us. It's like 15 minutes to the end of the show.
That would be well within her character.
Oh, how about this for a logo? Have a big, huge cog with a rocket ship kind of going through it.
Has that one been taken?
Not to my
Futurama.
knowledge.
Uh,
Of course, it probably
literally
has been.
Futurama. Literally Futurama.
Really?
I'm pretty sure that was the logo.
I mean, that's going to be a thing,
But
Okay,
but I
Google.
heard a big giant cock with a rocket ship going through it.
It's better than coming out of it.
I don't know. You're crossing the swords. Shadow, like that. That's definitely you.
No, no.
Are you doing N words from space part 2, the unofficial sequel?
No, no, God, dude.
Uh, have you guys seen that movie? We
The
watched it on
No.
splitter.
Hungar's old show. Oh, is it just going through the circle or whatever?
This is a circle.
Okay, I was thinking of that. Did either of you guys ever see that movie?
No.
We watched it. We watched it on. Yeah, we watched it. You saw it. We watched it on Hungar's show. Don't fucking lie, bro. You loved every minute of it.
You feeling any better, TCG? Hope so.
TCG.
Because you're being goofy. Or I'm not getting the joke or the reference. But that's kind of a regular thing around these parts. Um, because I've got a logo idea. I've got I don't have my CEO down pat yet. The
Oh, I
product
get
and
that
service.
reference.
What's that
Sorry.
from?
The crafting gamer. That's from uh the Muppet movie, Muppets Take Manhattan.
Oh,
Okay.
okay. I can honestly say I've never seen a single Muppet movie. I watched the Muppet Show. After that, I was done. Um, And mind you, that was a really good show, but unfortunately, it only lasted what, like 2 seasons. The product or service I've got down, medical technologies, blah blah blah, sphere of influence. I'm gonna look at the map that I'm gonna work on and uh, you know maybe make a corporate map to show where you know they reach to, as well as political structures and things like that.
Hmm.
But next week, I'm hoping to see a little write up on your. All it takes is an index card, and or send me a Google Doc or create one
I'll
on your,
add it to the one that I had.
and be prepared to show it off a little. We're not going to take too much time for that segment, because we're going to move into the other factors of the universe, that being like mostly the technological levels. We're going to talk about what kind of space travel we want to see, what kind of weaponry, what kind of medical technology, what's like, for example, in Star Trek, they had the woo woo machine. You get cut and they just wave the magic wand, and you heal up real quick. That's
The
crazy.
dermal regenerator. Get it
That's
right. I gotta interrupt you with getting the things right, because if you don't, Mr. Max will show up and we'll be here for another 2 hours.
no, because I do know where the end stream button is, and I'm fully capable of pushing the button. But think about that technology with what was a dermal regenerator. That's crazy powerful in a role playing game. You know what I mean? If you know how to use one of those, and you go down to a planet where they've got just
Yeah,
Earth
you press the
technology.
button, hold it on, and just kind of rotate your hand like this.
Yeah, and suddenly, that 18 hit point damage you took from getting, stabbed or sliced is gone.
Yeah, but
How many charges does it have? What can it do? What can it do? That can be really crazy powerful.
well, yeah. But you gotta remember to bring one with you, which you never do, and not die before it gets used on you.
Sure, sure, but in a low tech game, where you might only have 10, 15 hit points, and you've got Bones over here who's got it in his pouch. You just stick next to him, and you're going to be around a good long time. It's a powerful technology.
Well, you don't have characters that have unnatural abilities to take damage like you do in every other game, and then it becomes not that big of a
Mhm.
advantage.
Right,
Odds are you'll die before you get near the thing, even if it's in your own hand.
mhm. But those are the ideas that we want to discuss. The technological limitations, and maybe some of the cultural implications of those gadgets, because when you know that you can
Take
heal faster and things like that, the sports may be deadlier or more dangerous, or
murder ball.
they may have gone in the opposite direction, where they're all chess and checkers, and whatever that game was they played on Star Trek. They no longer go into the physical, because maybe some places it's boring because there's no challenge anymore.
Yeah.
You don't get hurt. There's no injury report to bet on, and things like that.
Mhm.
It,
Uh,
Or it's old tech, or like people can like juice up on whatever it is,
right,
hide
right.
it because you can the tech to advances where you can't even like know that it's like
Oh,
real.
Raven is
Oh,
here.
Raven's here.
Raven.
It's,
Yeah.
the Rock'em Sock'em robots, maybe like just watching
Oh,
Right, right.
robots
Well, what was
just
it? Robot Wars, or that one show that was on like MTV, where they, you build the machine, and that was the sport, or instead of
yeah.
actually, getting in a Formula One, people just make drones and race those. with
Yeah.
their mind or some shit.
I
Who
remember.
knows?
I remember the
How's it going,
Jetsons.
Raven?
I remember the Jetsons as a kid. There was that
Hello.
the Super Bowl was just all robots. Like they
Right.
got tickets to the Super Bowl. And,
The robot Super Bowl.
yeah,
There was a normal human Super Bowl too, but nobody watched it because it was boring.
yeah.
Exactly.
It's like women's basketball.
Hey, leave women's basketball alone.
Because everybody else does.
If they stop putting ugly chicks on the court, people would watch it.
So how you doing, Raven? Everything all
Good.
right? You finally got here.
Yeah.
Well, I heard you say that. I'm like, well, I can't disappoint you. I have to come in 15 minutes before the show ends, or 10 minutes, whatever.
Yeah. Well, I ask you, would you watch men's basketball if it was all like Ron Jeremy running around the court?
I don't know who Ron Jeremy is, but I can't sit through a basketball game. No.
What about football?
No.
Okay.
Nope, not into it.
Okay, so
I get bored.
Danny DeVito. If each team was made up of like, what was it, 8 players per team? 8 Danny DeVitos on each team.
No. Still no.
I think it would
Now.
be funny, but like I'm just saying.
Okay.
Now they all look like like Heath Ledger or
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying.
Or-
That's pretty much what they've done with women's basketball. Is they got the female equivalent of Danny DeVito's running around the court, throwing the ball around. And if they all look like Charlize Theron, fucking people would watch.
I
But they
see your
don't.
point.
in high heels.
Well, no, 'cause she wouldn't be able to play. But in
That's
a
the
bikini.
point. To make it funnier. Is there a sport you're into, Raven, at all that you'd watch
Um
or used to and enjoyed?
Golf.
no. Golf. Oh God. Just I'd rather pull my fingernails out with a pair of pliers. I gotta think about this.
Curling.
Curling?
Not really. I'm having a hard time thinking of something like.
Okay.
I mean,
Because it's kind of a common denominator throughout the hobby that sports are kind of like not a big deal. I for one, played a lot of them growing up, but once I got into the hobby, and started dating girls, is like, yeah, I'd rather play with the girls than shower with
yeah,
the
you
dude.
were more into the mattress polo, right?
Well,
I was also on the school volleyball team for that same reason.
Mm-hmm.
I used to be pretty good.
I can't think of a sport at all that interests me.
no worries.
I used to, when I was younger, we had to go to all the Indiana University basketball games and football games, and I got dragged to those oftentimes and hated every minute of it. I got dragged to a couple Cubs games up in Chicago and hated it. In fact, they were playing, I think it was the Pirates, and the batter hit it and it flipped back over backwards. I had a beer in one hand, cigarette in the other, and that baseball landed right in my lap. Before I know it, and they had, oh God, it was so embarrassing. They had the TV screens up there.
Mhm.
Well, I'm sitting there like this, and there's this look on my face just of utter shock. Meanwhile, the two people on either side of me and the person behind me all had their hands in my crotch trying to fight to get that damn baseball.
Sure they were.
Quite a sight. It was just, yeah. I wasn't even paying attention. I could have cared less, So, yeah.
Well, that's assault.
Hmm?
Don't write that in your book for Friday. That's I'll get you into
I mean,
trouble.
of all things, it's just so embarrassing. Oh my God. I had my hands full, didn't
So
spill
did
my
they.
beer. No, I can't think of a sport. I was forced to take tennis lessons and play tennis. Hated it. And
Apparently,
yeah,
Connell used to play tennis. I find that hysterical.
Connell, I never heard that.
I'm pretty sure it was him.
Kind of
I
seems
think
Racquetball
like
was kind of fun though. Racquetball was okay. I mean,
in the court
as long as we were, 3 seats into the wind, my best friend and I used to go play. Would you? Do you mind?
in the 80s. Cat butt.
The hell out of the way!
Cat
Damn
butt.
it, Murphy. Yeah.
You need to hook up.
Well,
uh,
you know what happens to Murphy, He shows up in the new department. He meets his lovely new partner. They get a call. He goes to the warehouse, and then they gotta put him back together with robot parts because he stepped in front of the camera. I'm just saying, like,
So he becomes a RoboCat at that point.
yeah, RoboCat. You
Hmm.
don't want to fuck with RoboCat. He will shoot your balls off between the woman's legs. Well,
Okay.
he'll paw at your balls between the woman's legs.
What is this when
That's
you were
all.
saying something about your hands? Your
What?
hands are definitely gay.
Yeah. He was making a masturbation joke earlier. Yeah, it's just like because
In
my
the
hand,
brief amount
my
of
hand
time that
only
I got
touches.
up from my desk and went to the kitchen, I come back to that, and I'm like, "What did I miss? How did that your conversation degrade to that point?"
not a thing, Raven. Not a thing. As our later viewers will find out, they missed nothing. No, really.
Well, I tried to fill in all the voids in the conversation with calling Shadow gay. Is what I normally do. It's the one line I've got. Okay, I've got one joke, and it's Shadow's gay. Shadow there.
Yeah,
He makes gay porn. He made me watch gay porn.
he made you watch it.
Yeah.
You mean
I
you didn't voluntarily want to watch it?
No. No, I did
Really?
not. I
Oh,
told him don't put
Pete.
that guy on the screen. He put him on, and then I saw penis being touched, and it was not good. There
And
were
you
no beautiful women naked.
that
and are
was
you in therapy now?
Yes, my therapist told me to call Shadow gay, and I've been doing exactly what my therapist told me to. Um, George is like, "Why am I here?"
Nerdy's already checked out. But
I'm here.
It
What happened
just
to
says
Connell?
no. It just says no. No.
Yeah, I haven't figured out how to put a picture there yet.
it's okay. It's actually funnier this way.
Because it's an actual word.
Yeah.
Where'd Connell go?
He just
Home.
popped in to say hi.
He went home.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck you guys. I'm too straight for this.
Yeah, it was good seeing
Where are
him.
my cheesy poofs?
So
Oh.
I'm
Seriously.
gonna go ahead.
Good.
I was just gonna say goodnight, everybody.
Yeah,
Oh,
party on.
9:30 already?
Yeah, 2-2.
I got a minute till, but
Fuck it.
I think we got some ideas that will help flesh out the universe we're going to play in next year. I'll need to find a way to get you guys some Traveler books or the Traveler book at some point. Maybe even New Year's Eve or something. We'll actually roll up the characters.
That'd be
I
cool.
put the RPG index on your site. It's in there. All
Oh,
the
okay.
Traveler books in there. Just
All
tell
right.
us what one to look through.
Are we going to do the whole rolling and sort of the like you go to college, go to like
Yep.
this school, and go
Yep.
into scouts or whatever?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I might even use.
We made those characters. Let's just use those characters.
Well, yeah, but to have actual numbers and things like that to flesh them out, and so that we know, what roles to make for attempting to do things, that sort of thing, and what they're good at and how good they are at it, as opposed to just winging it.
None on all stats for everyone. Not good.
No, I am hoping to actually read through Scythonian Stars and maybe just use that because I do. Spoiler alert! I do plan on throwing some sort of eldritch something or other in it, just because I mean, who doesn't want to fight Cthulhu in space, right? You
We
know,
don't need to. We have mega corporations.
right? But or encounter the lesser minions. Uh, as much as a fan of as I've been of Palladium over the years,
You ever
um,
see the movie Space Truckers?
no, but I'm planning on.
I've heard the song.
Watch it. Space Truckers?
Mhm.
There's a song, Space Truckers?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Send me a link to it.
Is it a
Okay.
Grateful Dead song?
I have no idea
Mm,
who sings it, but
no,
Okay.
it's
I
like
know.
from the '70s, isn't it?
Yeah, because that's what comes into my mind.
Space truckers. Yeah, yeah. I don't
Space
know. I'll
Truckers?
look it up. I can remember
So,
the refrain. I
yeah,
don't know.
please
Space
please
Remember.
Truckers?
post a link to that in Discord somewhere, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Those of you who are
Uh,
in my game,
this guy and
that
Raven.
girl. Mm,
I always use for real man.
yeah, I
Huh?
do.
What do you think?
Nothing. Don't worry about it. I'll tell you later.
Hey,
Um, everybody else, have a great weekend. I'm going to go apply the heating pad back on my back. Uh, so
He's
I
gonna microwave his back. That's why we watched
yes, yes, absolutely.
Spyro, or whatever his name was.
No, this microwave pad only lasts about, depending on the heat,
40 minutes.
the ambient temperature,
Son of
about 20 minutes tops. Um,
oh,
but
oh,
yeah, it's pretty weak.
get, get.
a-
So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Otherwise, we'll all meet again Monday morning on that guy's show
This
at
guy.
at uh, 10 a.m. my avocado-ish time, and I don't know where you guys live, so
Oh my
do
God!
learn
Please, please.
uh, the time
Uh,
zones.
was that song by a group called Rhino?
Perhaps.
the the song that I've got up is Space Lord Monster Magnet by Space Lord by Monster Magnet.
Oh,
It
okay.
may not necessarily be the song you're looking for.
Uh-uh. No.
Monster Magnet. So player characters. Gotcha.
Mm.
Would you please get the hell out of the way?
So George, Nerdy, Raven, Justin, thanks for playing along tonight.
Deep
Appreciate it.
Purple. It's by Deep Purple.
Oh, okay, okay.
Uh,
That's that makes more sense. It's vaguely coming back. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Everybody else out there in TV land, have a great evening.
Hmm.
Happy
See
trails.
you later.
Bye.
Party on.
I'll feel better, TCG.
Oh, TCG.
Yeah, yeah.